I do have to bring up James Cameron, okay, who is my GOAT. Obviously, there's a new Avatar that just came out, and I have to promote a little, I have to promote my favorite white boy with motion to the best of my ability here, okay? My favorite white boy with motion, James Cameron, says Palestinian struggle is righteous. In a recent interview, renowned filmmaker James Cameron, director of the Avatar franchise, described the Palestinian plight as existential. Speaking on the portrayal of war in his latest film, Avatar Fire and Ash, Cameron drew parallels between fictional narratives and real-world crises. The comments were made during a director debrief interview with journalist Brandon Davis, released shortly after the film's premiere on December 19th. In the interview, Cameron stated, "It's a fine line. Killing only leads to more killing, an endless expanding spiral. That's what we've seen. We've seen it in Gaza. We've seen it in Sudan. We've seen it in Ukraine." He continued, "There are some fights that are righteous, and total annihilation is a reason to fight. It's existential. This is different than the way people actually perceive Palestinians as perfect victims. I need you to understand the significance of a statement such as this one, okay? Saying that the Palestinian struggle is righteous is basically the most palatable way of openly stating that, you kind of understand why Hamas is doing the things it's doing, okay? For a guy with such a high profile, especially in an industry like Hollywood, to be able to come out and say stuff like this is a major tide shift, okay? Cameron remarks align with the narrative of Avatar Fire and Ash, where indigenous Na'vi characters confront human colonizers. The film, the third installment in the saga, delves into grief, loss, and redemption, mirroring what Cameron described as humanity's grief, greed, and willful destruction. Let's be real. That statement, especially coming from a guy like James Cameron, that statement coming from someone like me, obviously puts me in a mountain of trouble. And for the past 2 years, people have been consistently saying I'm a dangerous anti-Semite, anti-Semitic terrorist over and over again. But when it's coming from James Cameron, that means that the tide has shifted so much. The tide has shifted so much that it's no longer just about Palestinians being seen as perfect victims, and that's the only time you can defend Palestinians. But instead, now you can also say you understand why some people are engaging in a righteous struggle against existential threats that seek to wipe them out. That is precisely what Israel is doing, okay? And it is perfectly understandable that there would be resistance against it. Here's the video of the quote. Let's watch it. I mean,
capture all-out war in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Good guys are killing bad guys. They're each killing each other. They're each killing each other's animals and creatures. And yet I feel like when we see the sort of suffering, we only see the pain, mostly see the pain inflicted on the good guys. As
one of the things that I also saw that people were criticizing, which reminded me of there was all those right-wing edgy boys that also lose their shit about Israel but are otherwise neo-Nazis. What is it, the anime account Daka Daka or whatever, was complaining that Ukrainians were using drones on horseback cavalry that the Russians were utilizing in Ukraine. And they were like, these guys killed horses. How dare they kill horses? Ukraine deserves to lose. And it's like, what do you mean? They're the ones using the horses. They're the ones invading Ukraine. I'm not pro-NATO by any means, but what the do you expect the guys to do? What do you expect the people defending their territory to do? Just not, oh no, you're using a horse? I guess I can't blow it up then. Oh, don't touch the horses. What the It's ridiculous. Yeah, I saw someone being like, yeah, if Russians actually had child conscripts, these guys would yell at them for fighting against minors or something. Instead of getting mad at the Russians for potentially using child conscripts in this hypothetical, Yes, I am a horse girl, but as a horse girl, get mad at the appropriate place here. Get mad at the people using the horses on the battlefield rather than get mad at the people using the horse on the battlefield rather than the people who are, defending their homeland. Anyway.
If you're trying to make sure we don't empathize with the bad guys, can you talk about how fighting for what's right
Exactly.
And walking that line requires that
It's
sort of
a
portrayal.
fine line,
Yeah.
right? Because we go into Tulkun culture, and they say, killing only leads to more killing, an endless expanding spiral, right? And that's the world we live in right now. That's what we've seen. We've seen it in Gaza. We've seen it in Sudan. We've seen it in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing an action movie. People are going to fight. Right? But are you fighting for a just cause? Are you fighting for what you believe in? Are you fighting from a place of hatred or revenge? There are some fights that are righteous, and total annihilation is a reason to fight.
James Cameron's so close. James Cameron's so close to he still lived up in this analysis because no one is really fighting for revenge in this situation, right? Most people are fighting. The conquerors are fighting for a territorial expansion, for extraction of natural resources, or the enslavement of a people, right? Which is then commodified, then turned into another commodity, right? And then the people who are fighting back against that are usually fighting for survival. All the sectarian stuff, or all the ethnic tensions, all the religious tensions, all of that is basically just a galvanizing factor. But the main motivator is always about theft. It's always about stealing resources. It's always about acquiring more territory so that you can improve your economy.
It's existential.
You capture all-out war in this movie.
But I guess he's talking about the bad guys in his movie. But even then, the bad guys in the movie are there to, once again, they're not there to just simply enact revenge. They're there to extract resources. That's their goal. But in any case, like I said, big respect. The last time I heard someone so openly state, like a major player, so openly state the intentionality of their famous work was George Lucas, where George Lucas openly stated that the good guys were the Viet Cong and the bad guys, the Empire, was the United States of America. So, very cool that James Cameron is still firmly in the halls of the greats. I'm not just saying that because I just watched Terminator 2 recently, after many, many years of not seeing it, where once again, he very deliberately made the villains the police, if you recall. And there is a specific reason for it. He says it himself. When asked why T-1000 was a cop, he says, the Terminator films are not really about the human race getting killed off by future machines. They're about us losing touch with our own humanity and becoming machines, which allows us to kill and brutalize each other. Cops think of all non-cops as less than they are, stupid, weak, and evil. They dehumanize the people they are sworn to protect and desensitize themselves in order to do that job. Good Hollywood used to be good, and now it's all pro-empire garbage. No, Hollywood has always had a pro-empire garbanzo attitude. There's just some who cut through that noise a little bit, okay? And those people are oftentimes creating works that have salience, works that are remembered forever. And I just wish that other people would recognize that,